How much money would you make in dividends if you invested $10,000 into the popular NEOS ETF, ticker BTCI? Welcome back. My name is Spencer and I talk all about investing, and I am blown away by how BTCI has been performing. Bitcoin is moving again, which is definitely helping, but the dividends have been super solid from this fund. And if you don't believe me, stick around because we're going to dive into this fund and see exactly how much money it can make you. As always, if you're interested in investing in the stock market and making money, you are in the right place. We're growing a community of investors, so don't forget to join by liking the video and by subscribing. As always, let's get into that intro. I will say that NEOS BTCI is a little bit of a newer fund. It's only been trading since October of 2014. So we don't have a lot of history with this, but since that time, it's up 19.09%. And I know what you're thinking. It's Bitcoin going crazy, and Bitcoin has. But the key factor with this is it's up 19%, not including the dividends. That is a massive factor that really will push your returns higher with this ETF. So not a lot of history, but I'm really interested in seeing how it performs over the next couple of years. And if you are long on Bitcoin like I am, then this might be the perfect income opportunity for those that want to hold Bitcoin but need or want current income, which is of course the goal of the fund. But to find out more, let's check out their website because it's going to give us all the information we need. BTCI has a phenomenal distribution rate of 27.82%. That is amazing. The expense ratio, though, is high. It's almost 1%. It's 0.98% to be exact, which is up there. I mean, it's higher than a lot of the ones that I've seen, and this one does pay monthly. So there are a few downsides, but I will say if you're getting a near 28% dividend on top of a 19% return, that is insane. And I would be happy to pay 1% for that return any day of the week. The strategy behind BTCI is an interesting one. So the fund seeks to distribute monthly income, boom, that's what we want, right? Generated from writing call options on Bitcoin futures ETFs. Now, it's an actively managed fund by NEOS, hence the higher expense ratio, but it also seeks to offer upside potential via efficient exposure to Bitcoin ETPs. Now, ETP stands for its exchange traded products. The fund also implements a data-driven call option strategy, saving investors time and potential expenses of trading options themselves, which as a former options trader, I mean, I never really did it full-time or anything like that. I like that. I don't like writing options. It takes too much time, in my opinion. I'm just not as good at it as a lot of other people. If you are good at it, a lot of our commenters, a lot of the viewers are really good at it, and that's phenomenal. I'm just not, and so I'm going to stick with what I know. We can see the performance. 1 month, it's up 12%. 3 months, down 6%. 6 months, it's up 26%. And year to date, it's been struggling. Bitcoin fell pretty heavily. And although it was paying out a dividend, it is down 2.23%, which is not bad by any means. We still have a lot of things that are in the red, so I'm definitely okay with that. Now we are going to jump into the dividend history or distribution history of the ETF and make sure it's maintaining those high payouts. The dividends look very, very solid. I will say BTCI is a more expensive fund at $60 per share, but the dividends make up for it, being over $1 every time since inception. The high was $1, almost $1.60, and that was back in January. And since then, it's trailed down a little bit. We've seen Bitcoin fall, so no shocker there. But it's bouncing back up, so I wonder what the next payment will look like. I will say I don't own BTCI yet. That will be changing here very soon because I want some exposure to Bitcoin. I know it's, again, near all-time highs, but look at the returns of this ETF. And you guys know I'm a NEOS fanboy. I absolutely love their ETFs, and I am blown away by how this has been performing. So really, really interesting. If you go to the dividend scorecard as well, we can see they have the yield at 16.3%, which is definitely low because it's not even calculating it for the full year. That's roughly half a year, maybe 7 months. So it's a big payout. You've already paid out $9.59 on a $60 ETF, and that's trailing 12 months. So again, it hasn't been trading for 12 months, so you haven't gotten 12 dividends yet. We've only gotten, let's see, 7 payments so far. So that's a lot of money paid out. So the distribution is there. It's been paying out nice dividends, and I'm pumped to see it. But to really see how this thing has performed, we need to check out the DRIP calculator, and then we're going to throw all of it into our reinvestment calculator and see just how much money you can make for holding this ETF. I can already tell using DRIP on this ETF is the way that I'm going to go. So we can see if you had invested $10,000 originally at the start of the ETF in October of 2024, you would already be up 34.65%. And now, that's at a time when the market has not been great. Now, Bitcoin has moved back up, which is phenomenal, but those dividends paid out made a massive difference because had you not had drip on, you would only be up 33.36%, which is not that much of a difference. And I'll agree, it's not that much, but this is a very short time span. If you extend that out over 10, 20, even 30 years, it would make a massive difference. The annualized gain is around 61%. That's crazy. So your 10K would now be worth $13,465 with dividends reinvested and $13,336 with dividends not reinvested. So again, not too much of a difference there yet, but over time, that would be a massive factor. I'm really, really impressed with BTCI, and you guys have been commenting about it quite a bit. I should have looked into it sooner, and of course, I'll probably start buying it now that Bitcoin's back near the high. But I want to know if you guys are owning this ETF. Do you guys hold this? Do you like it? I own, I think, all of the other NEOS ETFs, or at least a good portion of them, and I've been very, very impressed with the returns so far. So, absolutely phenomenal. If you're interested in buying this or any of our weekly dividend ETFs, check out my link down below to Moomoo, a really solid broker I've been using for a while that I have all of my challenges going through right now, and I've been loving it. I really have. So check it out, open an account, and you get some bonus rewards, as well as it helps support the channel for those of you that are interested. So check that out if you guys need a new broker. But BTCI, absolutely solid. I'm really, really interested in seeing how this thing performs and how it continues to perform, I should say, because I'm already pretty blown away. All of our data is inputted. I have BTCI as the ticker. It's going to pay out monthly like it does, and we have drip on. That's a huge factor with this. $10,000 invested gets you just under 170 shares, and we're not adding any more to that. It's just a 10K investment starting off and seeing how much money it would make over a period of time. We're not doing taxes because everyone is taxed differently, and I invest in a tax-exempt account, and our dividend yield is 27.82%, which is the last yield they put on the website. Now, we're not going to increase this yet. At the end, I will do a small bonus calculation, including the price appreciation that we've seen so far, but not quite yet. So we can see a phenomenal return already. After just 1 year invested, our 10K becomes $13,000. Absolutely amazing. And if you're wondering why the total return is higher than the dividend yield when the dividend yield is the only factor that is increasing, it's because of drip. Because every single month we're getting paid, and that is getting reinvested into our initial amount of money, which although we only put in 10K. So again, next we're going to jump up to 5 years invested, and a massive leap here. It goes up to just under $40,000. You've already 4x'd your money in 5 years, which is relatively unheard of. Now we can also see our total dividend payment over that 5-year period is almost $26,000, all of that being reinvested. And moving forward, our annual dividend income is going to be $12,500. Can you imagine a $10,000 investment making you $12,000 a year just 5 years later? Would be nice. Would definitely be nice. Next, we'll kick it up to 10 years. So after 10 years, your money has more than 10x'd. Your 10K is now worth $156,000 for a 15.6x. And your total dividends, $128,000. Now moving forward, you're making $50K a year just in dividends. For 10K you invested 10 years ago, you're making like what? The average salary for a single adult? Absolutely insane. We're going to go straight into 20 years. And I know this number is going to be even crazier. We are already up to $2.5 million in only 20 years, in 2 decades. Now, I know 20 years is a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, it is not, especially to get that insane of a return, 24,381%. Total dividends paid out are $2.1 million, and moving forward, your annual dividend income would be $774,000. You're making what? $750,000 a year. You could buy a mansion every single year if you wanted to, just off of the dividends. Now we're going to go all the way up to 30 years, but I know it's going to be absolutely insane. And again, this is all assumptive. This is all based off the fact that it's only been trading for 7 months. We don't know how it's going to perform in the long grand scheme of things, but this is all based off how it has been performing, showcasing how it has been a really solid return on this ETF. But 30 years later, if you had 10K, let's say you were 30 and you wanted to retire at 60 and you really believed Bitcoin was going to hit $1 million one day. So you invested $10,000 into ticker BTCI to make those dividends, use drip, and make that money work for you. How much money would you have after 30 years? Can we retire? I know the answer is going to be yes, because your 10K is now worth $38 million. You have made $33.6 million in dividends over that 3-decade period, and now you're making $12 million a year in dividend income. And that is the power of DRIP. Now, is the fund going to perform exactly like this? Probably not. There's a very slight chance. We will see ups and downs. We'll see increases in the dividend and decreases in the dividend, as well as the price going up and the price going down. But I do want to show you guys, even if we lessen the dividend to 20%, look at how insane the returns are for this ETF. Over 30 years, you're still going to get an insane $4 million ending balance, $3.4 million paid out over that 30-year period, and you're still making $842,000 a year. So even if it does fall, even if we see it come down a little bit and it only trades around the 20%, that's still an absolutely insane return. So as always, if you guys are interested in tracking my portfolio and all of my challenges, check out my link to Blossom down below, a free app for you guys to use, and it helps you see everything that I've been buying and selling for sure. And as always, check out Moomoo as well if you need a new brokerage. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to enjoy these popping up on your screen right now, one of which showcases how insane the weekly dividend ETFs have been performing. So I think you will enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.